Time for Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com.
Ball poked away by Lake. He gets it out in front for Colin Warmouth in the dunk.
Welcome to this broadcast of Roseburg Sports, presented by CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score. Now, let's get ready for the game. Here's your pregame show host, Joey Kiran.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium on the campus of Roseburg High School in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. We welcome you into tonight's action for the Roseburg boys basketball team as they get ready to take on the Willamette Wolverines in a non-conference matchup. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joey Kiran. We welcome you into tonight's edition of Roseburg basketball here on The Score. Just wrapping up the JV game, which has gotten exciting in the final few moments of this ball game. The Roseburg JV team was leading comfortably as they started this fourth quarter, and the Willamette JV team has rallied back. A foul on a three-point shooter and a technical following it, and Willamette had a chance to try and tie the game at the free throw line with five free throws, three of them for a three-point foul and two for the technical. The shooter missed one, and it made it a one-point game, and Willamette just had a shot at a go-ahead bucket. Roseburg got the rebound on the miss, and with 6.2 seconds left to go in this ball game, we are waiting to see how things finish out in the JV matchup. But here tonight, the varsity matchup coming up in probably about 20 minutes from now as we gear up for another non-conference matchup for your Roseburg Indians. They come in tonight 5-0 on the year, looking to go to 6-0 as they're out to one of their best starts to a season since 2004-2005. For the Roseburg boys tonight, though, the thought is this could be their toughest competition of the season so far. Willamette comes in 2-1, a team that has moved down to the 5A classification due to reclassification at the OSAA level, but it's still a 6A caliber squad, and they come in here to Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium tonight looking to try and continue a win streak against the Indians. Last year, Willamette took both games against Roseburg in Southwest Conference play when they were conference opponents, and now Roseburg will look to try and snap that skid against the Wolverines. Should be a fun one here tonight, and we welcome you into tonight's broadcast. Quick check on that JV game for all of those that might be listening or watching online at 541radio.com. It is still a one-point game, and two free throws missed by Roseburg at the free throw line. Unable to put them through to stretch out the lead. It's still a one-point game with 4.4 seconds left to go in this ball game. We'll keep it right here until this one goes final, just to kind of add a little dramatics to the pregame as we gear up for tonight's tip-off. Roseburg comes in on this 5-game win streak, looking to try and keep that momentum going under head coach Mike Pardon in his 5th year leading the program after returning as the head coach, his 18th year overall with the Roseburg boys. The last win for the Roseburg Indians, a 63-46 victory on top of Corvallis last Friday night. Roseburg pulls off the victory in what was one of their closest games of the season in the first half. Roseburg trailed by 2 points after the first quarter, the first time they were trailing after the first period. And at halftime, it was just a 4-point game, the closest margin for Roseburg in their games so far this year. Here tonight, they take on this Wolverines squad that is coming off of a bit of a lengthy break. They have not played in a week, and the last time they did play, it was against the Sheldon Irish, and they lost 62-61. A tight match there, and the Wolverines will look to try and take down another Southwest Conference opponent. The game's going to come to an end. Well, Roseburg's going to win. The JV squad will hold out, winning 40-39. On that last possession for Willamette, the ball carrier handled the basketball just too long. He drove up the floor but never got a chance at an actual shot, dribbling out the clock. And the Roseburg JV team will win and advance to 5-1 on the year. Coming up, though, we'll have your varsity matchup between Roseburg and Willamette. 2-1 Wolverines coming to Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium to take on the 5-0 Roseburg boys. Looking forward to tonight's matchup as we continue to count down towards tip-off. Coming up on the pregame show, we'll get a chance to catch up with head coach Mike Pardon, who will give us a preview of tonight's matchup, talk about the team's growth so far here during the non-conference portion of the schedule, and we talk about how his team continues to improve as they gear up for Southwest Conference play coming up in just a few weeks. So stay with us for that. Coming up here next on the pregame show. As a reminder, want to let everybody know tonight's game is streaming live online at 541radio.com. You can watch the game live and free online. We've got every game throughout the season streaming up there on 541radio.com, so make sure to check that out. We also archive the games for a short period of time online, so you can follow the action. If you missed the game live, you can check back and catch some of the highlights in a short period after that game. So check that out at 541radio.com. Countdown has officially begun. We get ready for Roseburg basketball. They take on the Willamette Wolverines. We'll talk more about it with head coach Mike Pardon when we return after this 60-second break. You are listening to Roseburg basketball on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
Here's what's coming up for Roseburg basketball. Watch Roseburg basketball games at 541radio.com.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Back here in our pregame on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score and streaming with video online at 541radio.com. The Roseburg boys back at home getting ready to take on the Willamette Wolverines here tonight, a former conference foe, and we get ready for the matchup and get a little bit of a preview of what's coming up tonight as we get a chance to catch up with head coach Mike Pardon here in the pregame show. And coach, guys have gotten out to a great start, 5-0 here on the year, and as you guys continue to build, it was a tight first half against Corvallis, and the guys pulled away there in the second half. I think we've talked about it before about making halftime adjustments, knowing what they, figuring out what they're doing and adjusting to that in the game is always a big key for a basketball team. And it felt like you guys were able to go into the locker room, come out, and then really explode there in the second half and pull away in that game. Is that kind of what you saw? What kind of things did you take away from that and really like for your team?
Well, I think, I agree with you 100%. I just thought we came out and competed. We hit some shots, and we got the ball in and out, and I talked in the paper about getting a 50-50 ball, getting it back, guy hits a three. So those are things that players make plays, and it's our job as coaches to put them in those positions to make plays. So they still got to make them, and there's lots of things for us to get better at. I was happy. I think we started out with about 7 turnovers the first 7 minutes of the game, which is not good. Mm-hmm. But then we kind of settled in and had 10 turnovers the rest of the game. So that's what we got to be. We got to settle in to about 10 to 13, and I think once we do that, and if we keep rebounding the way we've been rebounding and taking care of our scoring the way we are, I think that we can become a pretty good basketball team.
You mentioned the turnovers, and that's been a pretty consistent thing for you all season, and I'm sure every year it is. But the numbers have actually looked like they're tracking in the right direction. The guys are starting to get better with that, and you mentioned that things got better there in that Corvallis game. Have you been seeing them take better care of the basketball, kind of like you say, cherishing the possession, making sure that they're taking care of the basketball the way you want them to? Are you starting to see more of it?
Yeah, I thought the third and fourth quarters at Corvallis, we did a nice job. So if we can keep doing that, that's going to help us. And I think we got to keep attacking the hoop. getting to the foul line, doing those things, and then playing really good defense. And these guys are going to put some stresses on us because they're just a lot quicker than we are. And so we're going to have to play really good team defense tonight.
You guys are getting ready to take on Willamette. We'll get to them here in a moment. But the game against Corvallis, it was their season opener, and we're a week and a half into where teams could start playing basketball. You guys took advantage of it on the first day of the season. There's still teams that haven't played a game at the 6A level. I know we've talked about the schedule before, but do you find it to be beneficial for you guys to be playing so many games here early on in the season versus maybe some teams that have had a lot of time to be in practice and haven't really faced anybody else yet?
If you win, I think it's a benefit. So I think we've worked through some things. We have a long ways to go. It's only December 11th. So there's just lots of things that we got to get better at.
Tonight it is Willamette. It's a former Southwest Conference opponent. They dropped down to 5A this year, but they're still a 6A caliber type of team that you got here at your place tonight. They beat you guys twice last year in conference play. Returned a decent number of those guys as far as from starters from last year and whatnot. And you mentioned they're a quick team. What kind of things, their quickness being one of them, what kind of things do they do that really give you guys trouble and kind of ended up costing you in maybe some of those games last year?
Well, they've changed a little bit. They are really driving it even harder this year than they did a year ago. So Cross and Burke and Curtis are all returning starters, and then you got a Smith that's Luke Smith really shooting the ball well for them. So they're a lot like us. They have lots of experience. They got guys that have won a lot, and so this is a great challenge for us.
Back at home here, you guys have been out on the road a bunch. Is that a good thing for you in your mind, playing out on the road? I guess might go back to the earlier question. As long as you win on the road, sure, it's great. But being on the road, being a road-tested team here early on, I'm sure that helps get you guys ready for kind of some of the things you'll face later on in the season.
I hope so. I think it's a benefit to win on the road. You know, we've traveled. One of our coaches said, we've gone 639 miles already. So we've been on the bus a lot, so it's good to be home, and we're excited about being home and really looking forward to tonight.
All right, we get ready for it. It's the Roseburg boys taking on the Willamette Wolverines coming up this evening. We'll have more of that coming up for you as we get ready with more of the pregame show. That's head coach Mike Parton here in our pregame coaches interview. Back with more on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Back here at Roseburg High School, gearing up for tonight's tip-off between the Indians and the Wolverines. Joey Kieran here with you. Tonight's game is brought to you by Bi-Mart. Score big at Bi-Mart, where you can get ready for your season for less. Also brought to you by our friends at Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. Well, tip-off is coming up in just under 15 minutes from now. A little bit of a later start. The JV game going just a little bit long, so we will have just a little bit of a lengthy pregame show as we gear up for the start of tonight's matchup. The Roseburg JV team winning 40-39 against Willamette as they prevail, hold off the Wolverines down the stretch in that matchup just a little bit ago. As for tonight's game, Roseburg taking on Willamette. Mentioned that both teams coming in, winning records so far. Roseburg boys 5-0. The Willamette Wolverines 2-1 on this season. Their last game a loss at Sheldon 1 week ago today That one ended up being a pretty good one down the stretch from the highlights I was able to find online. Luke Smith, one of the stars for this Willamette team, just a sophomore, got a steal late, fed it to Owen Cross down the floor. Cross able to score. The senior puts it in and puts Willamette up by 1. But with 11 seconds left to go in the ball game, on an inbound pass from the sideline in front of their own bench and their own half of the floor, Sheldon got a guy wide open underneath the basket and was able to put it in for the win. That would be the winning bucket. And there was maybe a little bit of controversy on that one. The defender for Willamette was knocked to the ground, and that left, I believe it's Dom McGarvey, the Sheldon guy, left him wide open underneath the basket for an easy two-pointer that put Sheldon in front by 1. Now, something to consider when you look at that matchup between Willamette and Sheldon is that the Irish were playing without some of their football stars. I've looked at that roster, and they've got, of course, Patrick Herbert, who was an all-conference selection last year for the Irish on the basketball court, as well as Griffin Line, who also is the backup quarterback for Sheldon. Probably could be a starting quarterback for many teams around the state, but was playing behind a high-quality, high-caliber quarterback there at Sheldon High School. Griffin Line also on the basketball team as well. So you've got a couple of guys. You've got a couple of guys that can get you a couple of guys on the Sheldon team that were on the football team that'll be additions to the basketball team as they get ready for the season. We'll try and get you starters here in just a moment as we gear up for this matchup. We'll have that tip-off is coming up in just a moment. And we'll have that for you coming up here in the pregame show. As we get ready for it, taking a look at some of the other matchups going on around the area here tonight. You've got the Roseburg girls are up on the road at Willamette High School, and the Wolverines and the Indians both going into that one with 3-game losing streaks. So one team's going to come away snapping a 3-game losing streak. The Roseburg girls are hoping that'll be them. They've had a bit of an up-and-down season so far, as they've played tight against some teams, but then have not been able to finish those out. The Roseburg girls up on the road. They're tipping off right about now at Willamette High School. Sutherland teams are in action at home tonight. They're hosting Cy-Uslaw. The Sutherland boys out to a hot start, and they are coming off of an 11-point win over Cy-Uslaw on Saturday. Tonight they host Cy-Uslaw. That game Saturday was part of a tournament out on the coast, or excuse me, up at Harrisburg and Junction City High Schools. Excuse me, Elmira. Yeah, I believe it. Oh, it might have been Harrisburg. Now I'm trying to go off of my memory, and that's always a tricky thing. Either way, Sutherland did play. The boys played against Cy-Uslaw on Saturday, got a win by 11 points. Tonight they host Cy-Uslaw in that matchup. That game going on up there at Sutherland High School. And it'll be tipping off tonight at 7:15. The Sutherland girls are already underway. They got started at 5:45 tonight. And that game's on I-101 FM. Dan Bain with the call of Sutherland basketball for you this season. Other matchups on the schedule. Douglas is at Illinois Valley. Glide at home against Coquille. Umpqua Valley Christian welcomes in Chiloquin. Camas Valley hosts Rogue River. Oakland travels to Days Creek. And Riddle visits Myrtle Point. Just some of the matchups we've got coming up tonight around the Umpqua Basin. Portland Trailblazers also in action tonight. They are on the road. The Blazers looking for their first 3-game winning streak since early November. And for the Blazers, they take on the Houston Rockets, a team that has really been scrapping as of late. The Rockets were losers of 3 straight coming into this matchup, and they have lost 7 out of their last 10. And Houston starting to pull away here in the fourth quarter in that one. 7-point game, 85-78. Houston in front with about 11 minutes still to play in that one. Still some time to go for the Blazers to come back. They were up at halftime, but right now have not been able to hold as they get into the second half against the Houston Rockets. That one again down in Texas for the Portland Trailblazers. We are counting down towards tip-off here from Roseburg High School. Willamette and Roseburg getting ready to square off. While we've got the time, we like to do it. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's Supercut starting lineups for the Roseburg and Willamette boys. Supercuts in the Steelhead Run Plaza across from Starbucks. Save time and check out styles online at supercuts.com. We'll take a look at the starting lineup first for the visiting Willamette Wolverines. They'll have 2 seniors in their starting lineup, a junior and 2 sophomores tonight. First off, we'll start off with Joe Brown, a junior 5'9" guard, will get the start tonight. He was on the roster last year for Willamette when they played Roseburg, but did not play. Owen Cross, the first-team all-conference selection from last year as his junior. He comes back to help lead this Wolverines squad. He starts tonight, the 6'3" senior wing. Alex Puckett is a 6' sophomore wing, gets the start tonight, along with fellow sophomore, 6'2" wing Luke Smith. And rounding it out will be the big man in the middle, the senior 6'4" post Jacob Curtis. That is a look at the Willamette Wolverines. Curtis and Cross, both returning starters from last year, started against Roseburg a year ago. The other is Luke Burke, who has been a 2-time all-conference selection. Last year, honorable mention, his sophomore year, he was a second-team all-conference selection. Luke Burke, not listed as a starter here tonight. As for the Roseburg boys, it is a familiar starting lineup for Roseburg. Leading things off, it'll be the senior Storm Scott, the 6'5" post, averaging 16.4 points per game. He has scored 21 points twice so far this season. That is his season high for Roseburg. Jet Black, the junior guard, averaging 4.8 points a game, will come in and the starting lineup tonight. The senior guard, Caden Seeley, averaging 3.2 points per game, gets the start. The 2-time first-team all-conference selection, Colin Warmoth, a senior, averaging 26 points per game, coming off of a career-high 31 points in the win against Corvallis, starts tonight along with Jonathan Stone, the 6'7" post, averaging 5 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game down in the middle. And that is a look at the starting lineup for the Roseburg Indians. It's brought to you by Supercuts in the Steelhead Run Plaza across from Starbucks on Garden Valley Boulevard. Save time and check out styles online at supercuts.com. Injury note for the Roseburg boys. We noticed he was not on the floor last game against Corvallis. Howie Lake out again tonight. Expect him to miss about 3 games total. He had surgery for his broken nose that he suffered earlier on in the year. I believe that was at Eagle Point, if I'm not mistaken. That was the game where we saw the JV game with a guy with a bloody nose, and then the varsity game where Howie Lake ended up with a bloody nose. Opening game of the year for the Roseburg boys. Howie Lake broke his nose. He played with a face guard for a couple of games, but it sounds like he will be out for 3 games at least for the Roseburg boys. He's missed 1 already, expected to miss 2 again here this week. So no Howie Lake tonight. He was the backup point guard, one of the first guys off the bench for Roseburg. That is why we saw a little bit more of D'Angelo Adams in the win against Corvallis. Adams, the senior transfer, averaging 2.8 points per game. He has been able to come in and provide a nice little effort off the bench for Roseburg, hitting a couple of 3-pointers and being able to play some tough defense as well for Roseburg off the bench. Oh, we're gearing up for tip-off. That's coming up in just about 5 minutes from now. Tonight's game is brought to you by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone's welcome to shop, and by Chuck Swarm and Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? Roseburg boys in white tonight. They'll have the numbers in black on the front and the back, outlined in that thin orange stripe. They've got the design down the side in orange. On the other side, it's the dark maroon for the Willamette Wolverines, maroon and gray. Numbers on the back in gray for them. Willamette across the chest on the front in gray as well. They've got a bit of a two-tone offset stripe down the side of their jerseys as they warm up to our left here high atop the grandstands here at Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium, back behind the scorer's table, getting ready to go for tonight's matchup. Well, as we count down towards tip-off, what else we got to talk about? It's been an extended pregame show for us here as the JV game ran a little bit long, but they hold on for that win. Impressive year so far for the Roseburg JV team, out to a 5-1 start. It's great to see for head coach Justin O'Byrne and his JV squad. They have been able to hold on in a couple of games. It was interesting to see that progression in that one. Willamette, when we got here to the gym to start setting up, Willamette was winning. Roseburg went on. At one point, it was a 12-2 run to build a lead. They took that lead into halftime. In the second half, they continued to lead by about 7 to 10 points. And as they started the fourth quarter, had that 7-point lead, looked like they were going to be able to win comfortably. But they went on a bit of a scoring spell, a dry spell there for the offense. And the Roseburg JV team was able to hold off Willamette, who fought their way back. We mentioned earlier, Willamette had 5 free throws. A shooter was fouled on a 3-point attempt, and then after the play, a technical called against Roseburg resulted in 5 free throws for the Willamette Wolverines. And with that, they had a chance to try and tie the game at the free throw strike. Unfortunately, they did not, and fortunately for Roseburg, they didn't, as the Indians would hold on. 4 out of 5 at the stripe made it a 1-point game, and that would be about the margin at the end of it. In fact, that was 40-39 was your final score as the Roseburg JV team came away with a victory. So the Roseburg boys JV team winning there tonight to improve to 5-1 on the year. Coming up elsewhere around the Southwest Conference tonight, you've got Sheldon at Churchill, South Eugene at Lincoln, and South Medford hosting Ashland tonight. Some of your non-conference games going on for the rest of the conference here this evening. Also, worthy of note, up online at osaa.org, you can check out this year they've been doing the coaches polls for teams. We saw it during the football season, all classifications getting the coaches polls going on. Basketball has the coaches poll happening as well. And for the first time this season, the Roseburg boys, they are getting attention in the coaches poll. Roseburg received 65 points to put them at 11th in the polling. They were just outside the top 10, so they're in that receiving votes category, and they end up in 11th place with the 65 votes. They were only 10 points behind the 10th place team. So Roseburg right there on the verge of being a top 10 team in the 6A coaches poll compiled by B.G. Gould. And so that's some nice respect there for the Roseburg boys, a team that has not made it into the postseason for quite some time. Last postseason appearance, 2013-2014. That was a play-in game. Last time they were in the actual state playoffs was 2011-2012 season. Last time they made the tournament was the 2010-2011 season. So this is a program that hasn't seen a lot of success, probably not taken overly serious by a lot of programs around the state, but they're starting to get a little bit of attention here in the 2018-19 season. As we get ready for tip-off, it's coming up in just about 60 seconds as we get ready to go. Roseburg and Willamette. It's coming up for you here next. We'll have the broadcast for you after this final 2-minute break. We wrap up the pregame show, have your starting lineups announced down on the floor, and the tip-off coming up next. This has been the pregame as we count down to Roseburg basketball tonight for you. Streaming live online at 541radio.com and on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Here's what's coming up for Roseburg basketball.
It's Roseburg basketball tonight for you here on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score and streaming online at 541radio.com. Roseburg Indians tonight welcome in the Willamette Wolverines out of the Midwestern League in Eugene. They come in 2-1 on the season in the 5A classification, while your Roseburg Indians 5-0 on the year. Joey Keyran here with you. Want to say thanks to Cruz Ibanez back in the studio for the radio production tonight. Big thanks to Angela Keyran for video production tonight here on site. And thanks to Josh Nelson helping out with statistics and scorekeeping here this evening as well. Roseburg getting announced down on the floor by public address announcer Kyle Bailey here this evening as we gear up for tip-off. That'll be up here in just a moment. We ran through your starting five for both these teams a little bit earlier. Let's take a look at it again here real quick. Joe Brown, Owen Cross, Alex Puckett, Luke Smith, and Jacob Curtis starting tonight for the Willamette Wolverines. For Roseburg, Storm Scott, Jet Black, Caden Seeley, Colin Warmouth, and Jonathan Stone. Your starting five for Roseburg. Did get word from some of the fans here in the stand. It sounds like Luke Burke is injured for Willamette tonight. That would explain the absence of the two-time all-conference selection, Luke Burke, the senior, not in the starting lineup here tonight. I was surprised to see that and finding out that it looks like he is injured for tonight's game. So no Luke Burke tonight. Luke, along with, I believe it was his older brother, Noah Burke, that the two brothers there, they really can fire it up for this Willamette squad the last couple of years. So that is definitely a big loss for the Wolverines getting ready for tonight's matchup. Tip-off is just about to take place here as we get ready to go from Roseburg High School tonight, a non-conference matchup between the Indians and the Wolverines. In the middle, you'll see Jonathan Stone getting ready to jump. He will go up against Alex Puckett, and that is a huge size disadvantage for the Wolverines. Stone at 6'7", Puckett listed at 6 foot. You can tell it in the middle there. Roseburg will move left to right on your radio dial, and Willamette will move right to left as we get ready to go. Good student section here tonight at Roseburg High School as they get ready to cheer on the Indians. Tip goes into the backcourt, nearly stolen away by Willamette, but Roseburg will have it. They'll move to the right. Pass out to the top, nearly through the hands of Colin Warmouth and into the backcourt. Does it not? They save it back in, and it'll start out with a three from the corner by Caden Seeley. The senior hits from the corner, and it's an early 3-0 lead for the Roseburg Indians. Up the floor on the other side. Willamette with it in the corner. It's Cross. He'll pass it all the way across the floor to Jacob Curtis, and the big man will respond with a three-pointer for the Wolverines. It's a 3-3 ball game. Up the floor to the right side. Jet Black looking to enter it into Storm Scott. Get it down there. The lefty, he'll force it up to the rim, and it goes off the glass and through. A punch shot out of the hands of Storm Scott, and the lefty, he finds the right spot to just bank it in. 5-3 your score. A minute ticked away in the first quarter. In the far corner with the basketball. Cross. Back out a long three for Willamette. No good from Luke Smith. Rebound came down to Willamette, and Seeley will steal it away. Doesn't have the numbers. Now he finds, that is Warmouth in the middle. And Colin's going to get called for an offensive. Taking the charge in the middle, I believe that was Alex Puckett. And they're going to stop play here. And the official's going to talk for a moment. It was Colin Warmouth, the player control foul. They might have just been confirming the number on who the foul would be on. It'll be the first team foul against Roseburg. Turnover by Roseburg. Back into the hands of the Wolverines. And they will bring it up the floor. Through the center circle. Alex Puckett to the right side. Back to the near side to Brown. Gets it back. Out at the top, Cross with it, pulls up, does not fire it from straight away out at the top of the arc. Brown with it, driving in, pass to the near side, driving baseline. Cross gets stuck, he finds it in the corner, a three off the mark for Luke Smith. And Roseburg will bring it up the floor, the defensive rebound, they get the stop. Warmouth on the far side, driving in, had the ball knocked out of his hands as he was going up, and he'll get free throws. I'm surprised you don't get much much more of a complaint out of the Willamette bench on that one. Looked like almost the defensive stop had just knocked the ball out of Collins' hand, but he draws some contact and will head to the free throw line. First one is good. Collin, first trip to the line for Roseburg tonight, hits the first. Roseburg up 6-3, looking to try and make it a 7-3 advantage. And he will. Collin shooting very strong from the free throw line so far this season, 90% shooter for the Indians. 7-3 your score, largest lead of the night for Roseburg at 4. 6:10 to play first quarter. Cross trying to dribble in, finds the big man underneath. Curtis right underneath the basket, takes one dribble and is able to feed it just over the top of the rim to fall through. 7-5 your score. Down to Scott in the middle. Another one with the left hand. The hook shot no good. Right in front of the rim, couldn't finish. Bringing it up the floor, Smith on the right side to cross at the top. A little head fake, tries to drive against Stone. Now he'll pull back for a long three. Front iron, no good. Scott comes down with the rebound. First three attempt for Cross. It was from way downtown. He can't get it to fall. Scott in the middle with it, back out to the top. Seeley drives, baseline jumper now for Stone. Off the iron, no good. Warmouth comes down with the rebound, and Collin will get the putback and his first field goal of the night. And Roseburg back out to a 4-point lead. 9-5 your score. First quarter, 5:15 to play. Driving right side, cut off Brown. And now he redirects himself into the middle of the lane and dishes as he went airborne, kicks it out to the far side or near side for another three from Jacob Curtis. And Curtis is 3 for 3 from the floor, has 8 points total. Pass to the far side is tipped out of bounds by Willamette, stays with Roseburg. Jet Black will inbound from the far sideline into Warmouth. 9-8 your score after that three by Jacob Curtis. The big man likes it around the perimeter. Into the baseline for Scott. Roseburg working against a zone defense. That ball tipped. It'll go into the backcourt. Roseburg will collect it. Seeley tracks it down. Jet will bring it up the near side, working against Brown. And another pass stolen, and it's saved back in by Willamette. They'll have the basketball, bringing it up the floor, looking for their first lead tonight. At the top with it, Smith between the leg dribble, out to the far side to Cross, behind the arc. Jab steps a couple of times, now drives in, finds the Curtis, underneath, and Jacob Curtis will give Willamette their first lead of the night at 10-9. He has got 10 points in this ball game in the first quarter. Warmouth driving in, back of the iron, no good. Rebound comes down to Willamette. Up the floor, and a foul in the backcourt, and that I think is going to be the second on Collin Warmouth. It is. Collin picking up 2 first quarter fouls. He'll have to be careful. We've seen it before. He's been able to keep himself in control, even despite picking up early fouls. Willamette will have the basketball to the far side of the floor. Smith with it to Brown, to the near side to Cross. On the wing, into the corner. A three attempt from Curtis. He's got it again. He's the biggest man on the roster, but he is deadly from downtown tonight. 3 3-pointers, and he has got 13 in the game so far. That is all 13 points for Willamette. They lead 13-9. Skip pass across the floor, get it underneath to Scott. He'll go up with the left hand off the glass for 2. Working against Jacob Curtis, and Curtis, all he can do is just stand there with his arms extended. Didn't do a whole lot more than that defensively. We'll see if Roseburg recognizes that and tries to take advantage with Storm Scott underneath. To the far side of the floor, Owen Cross thought about that deep three, working against Stone, doesn't pull the trigger. Around a screen, Smith with it. Luke will pass it back to Cross. Owen, double team, just briefly, passes it away to Luke Smith. Smith trying to drive against Seeley with 3 minutes to go. Willamette leading 13-11 at the moment. They pull back out to reset. Under 3 minutes to play. First quarter. Pass to the right side. Back out to Brown to the near side. Puckett into the corner. They work it back underneath to Curtis, backing his way in against Scott. And a travel is going to be the call. Underneath, Jacob Curtis backing his way in, picked up the dribble and tried to bury his shoulder into the defender a couple more times. He did get Storm up into the air, but it doesn't work out for Willamette. Roseburg will bring it up the floor, looking to try and regain the lead on a 3 or tie it with a 2. Carson Ellis has checked into the game for Roseburg. Driving baseline, Warmouth cut off. Back out to Scott. He'll try a three. It's just off the mark. Long rebound comes down to Brown, and Warmouth is going to pick up his third foul, fighting to try and get to the rebound. And we're going to see an early substitution. D'Angelo Adams will check in for Colin Warmouth. He's got 3 personal. And D'Angelo Adams does come into the game for Roseburg. 13-11 our score. Willamette in front of Roseburg, trying to hand the Indians their first loss of the season. Driving baseline, Luke Smith gets to the rim, can't finish, gets his own rebound, put back good. Missed the first attempt, gets the second. 15-11, back to a 4-point lead for the Wolverines. Jet Black handling the basketball, tries to dump it to Stone in the corner, picks it up. He's got his dribble. He'll use it into the corner. Jet going to try a three. He's got it. Jet Black, his first attempt of the night. The three falls right through. Nothing but nylon. Back to a 1-point game, 15-14. Roseburg trailing by 1. Cross, pass it away into the corner. Luke Smith drives back out to Brown. He tries a three off the back iron, no good. Fight for the rebound. Goes through the legs of Jonathan Stone, and Willamette will get it back. And the three from Cross is good. Second attempt for Willamette will fall through. 18-14, back to that 4-point lead. Right side, Adams, back out to the top to Ellis. Quick pass into Storm. Left hand off the mark on the glass. Willamette gets the defensive rebound. They have been owning the boards, it feels, here in this first quarter. Minute 14 to go. Quick pull from Luke Smith. He's got it. And it's a bunch of threes just raining them from behind the arc for Willamette. They are a deadly shooting team when they get hot. 7-point lead for the Wolverines. Carson Ellis trapped out at the top, dribbles it to the near side. His handoff is stolen away up the floor. And with it is Alex Puckett. He'll lay it in for 2. And it's been a big run for Willamette here on top, now by 9. And not calling a timeout. A little surprised by this one for Mike Pardon. He'll just wait for the end of the first quarter. Ellis picks up his dribble. Skip pass into the corner for Adams. He loses it, but it goes right to Scott. He pulls up for a left elbow jumper. It's short, gets his own rebound, put back short, and the rebound down to Adams. And the ball goes to Roseburg. Storm had a couple of looks there, couldn't get one to fall. The Indians a little bit tight here in this first quarter. Trailing right now by 9, their largest deficit of the season. A three from the corner by D'Angelo Adams, no good. Rebound tip to Jet. He'll try a long 2, and he buries it. And Roseburg stops the run by Willamette. Get the bucket to fall. 23-16 your score. 10 seconds to go, first quarter. Luke Smith with it out on the far side. Calling for the offense to cut in front of him. They work it around into the corner. Owen Cross a three, no good. Rebound down to Adams. And that is how things will finish here in the first quarter. 23-16 your score. Largest deficit of the season for Roseburg after the first quarter. Come back with the second after this 60-second break here on 1490 The Score.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Second quarter, Willamette will start with the basketball. They lead 23-16. Joey Keyran here with you. Willamette giving Roseburg their largest deficit after the first quarter of the season. Knew it was going to be a test here tonight. Willamette doing very well from behind the arc in that first quarter. Owen Cross with it, drives left side with the left hand. Cross will get the first bucket of the second quarter. Stretches it back out to a 9-point game. 5 3-pointers in that first quarter for Willamette. Driving in, D'Angelo Adams bumped by Willamette. Adams a little out of control, had lost a handle on the basketball right after he gets fouled. Roseburg will keep it. Second team foul against Willamette. 3 against Roseburg after that first half. All 3 of them against Colin Warmouth. Inbound to Adams in the corner. Back out to Jett at the top. Pass through the hands of the defense. Stone going to try a 3. It's long. Ellis underneath. Fight for the rebound. It stays with Roseburg. Stone had a decent look at that 3 there, but just was a bit long as it hits off the back of the iron. Out at the top, Stone with it. He's going to drive right side. Back out to Black. Xavier Avilés is checked into the game for Roseburg as well, as Jett going to miss an elbow 2. And up the floor will come Willamette. Joe Brown with it, left side, back out. A huge, deep 3, good for Luke Smith. And this Willamette team, they can shoot from downtown. Out to a 12-point game now in favor of the Wolverines. Ellis with it right side, into the corner for Jett. Pass underneath to Avilés, bounces it to Stone, back out to Adams, and it's tipped away. Cross up the floor, working against Adams. He'll pass it away. They'll reset. Pass to the top, Curtis, over to Smith on the far side, and they'll get it to Cross on the near side at the wing. Step back 3, off the mark. Long rebound comes down to Brown. Into the corner for Curtis. Now far side, Cross with it as they reset. Almost 2 minutes ticked away here in the second quarter. Into the corner, Stone gets his hands on a pass, knocks it out of bounds. Storm Scott will check back in after a quick break for Roseburg. Jonathan Stone will get a breather. Also into the game, Tyler Woods checks in for Willamette. Willamette had their starter still on the floor after that first quarter. Pulling back out, Luke Smith will start the offense. Drives to the right side, fakes a handoff, drives baseline. Ellis stays in front of him, doesn't allow him to get to the rim. Back out to Cross, driving right side. Gets into the middle, got stuck in the air, and his pass stolen away by Avilés. Up the floor will come Roseburg, looking to get back to single digits on a 3. They trail by 12. Driving baseline, Adams, a nifty under the basket move, but he can't get it to fall, just rims off. Up the floor, Willamette into the corner. Woods with it, back out to Smith. He'll drive in, the floater off the iron, no good. Underneath, the foul, but the bucket won't go. Jacob Curtis will head to the free throw line. That foul going to go against Jett. First foul for Jett Black, 14 fouls for Roseburg. Shooting free throws for the first time for Willamette will be Jacob Curtis. First free throw rattles around and through. Roseburg basketball tonight brought to you by Mahalo Heating and Cooling, your best choice for the finest indoor comfort control. Call them today at 672-6707. Caden Seeley will come back into the game for Roseburg. Jett Black does substitute out. Second free throw goes for Curtis. He hits them both. It's 30-16. Willamette in front of Roseburg by 14. Seeley will run the point. Pass up the floor to Adams. They'll get it to Ellis, into the middle to Avilés. Had the ball stripped out of his hands, gets it back. Into the corner. Scott, a 3. Got it! Storm Scott will get the 3. That stops the bleeding for Roseburg. Back to within 11. Cross with it out at the top to Smith. Smith has hit some deep 3s. Passes it away. 6 threes so far in this ball game for Willamette. Driving in, Owen Cross gets free, and he'll finish right in the middle of the lane. 32-19 your score. Adams brings it up on the near side. Dribbles to the left side, calling for Seeley to go underneath. Gets it to Scott. Scott has a look at a 3. It's short, misses everything, and Roseburg not able to save it back inbounds. Timeout on the floor. 30-second break for the Roseburg Indians. We'll take it as well. Willamette leads big over Roseburg, 32-19. Back after this 30-second break on 1490. The Score.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Here in the second quarter, our score 32-19. Willamette with the basketball and the lead. Tonight's game brought to you by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Into the corner, Tyler Woods with it, driving left hand inside the free throw line. Into the corner now. The shot by Joe Brown off the mark. Aviles gets the rebound. Outlet out in front to Seeley. Didn't have the numbers, and Roseburg will reset. Scott gets it, tries to drive baseline, gets cut off. Pass out to the top to Ellis. Ellis going to drive left side, and he has his pocket picked. Up the floor, Willamette. Woods with it to the rim, and his shot off the mark, and then he commits the foul. Tyler Woods driving in against the much bigger Storm Scott, and Scott does a nice job of just staying straight up against him. And Storm able to force a bad shot out of Tyler Woods there, and Roseburg able to get the defensive rebound. Roseburg gets a stop as we hit the midway point of the second quarter. 4 minutes to play. Jet Black back into the game. Comes in for Carson Ellis. Driving left side. Jet passes it away to Seeley. You've got Jet, Seeley, D'Angelo Adams, Xavier Aviles, and Storm Scott out on the floor. Adams makes a lob pass, almost pulled away. Jet able to get it, but his shot off the mark as he drove to the rim. Up the floor for Willamette. Into the corner. It's a three from Woods. Back iron, no good. Willamette, though, pulls down the rebound. And the Wolverines doing a great job rebounding tonight. Second look here for Willamette, out at the top, Cross with it. Roseburg has the height advantage, but Willamette just seems to be in all the right places. A bump foul going to be called against Caden Seeley. Put his shoulder into Joe Brown, who was driving to the rim. Jonathan Stone will come back in for D'Angelo Adams. 3:16 to go here in the second quarter. 32-19, inbound from the baseline. Got to get it in, and finally will. Curtis with it in the corner, tries to feed it out to the top to Cross. He'll track it down just before the midcourt stripe. Out on the right side into the corner for Brown. Brown looking for the cutter, nobody there. Smith will come to get it at the top, driving against Stone. He'll pull back out, hands it off. Brown driving right side of the lane. Back out to Woods in the middle. His scoop shot no good. Fight for the rebound goes to Roseburg. Tyler Woods, the sophomore, was airborne for a while. Couple of pumps, and his scoop shot just falls off the rim, no good. Had a decent look at it, though. 2-3 zone for Willamette. Out to the top, to the far side. No Colin Warmoth. He picked up 3 early fouls. He's been on the bench for a while. Jet harassed in the corner. Out to Seeley at the top. His 3 off the mark. Fight for the rebound. Last touch by Willamette, and Roseburg will get it back. Underneath, Xavier Aviles doing a nice job battling with Jacob Curtis for possession there, and Curtis touched it as it goes out of bounds. Pass to the top to Stone on the inbound, underneath to Scott. Back out to Seeley. Seeley looking underneath, nobody there for him, and Stone will get it. 2:26 to play, second quarter. Roseburg down by 13 at the moment. Back to Stone on the left wing. Out to the top to Jet. Back to Aviles. Aviles, skip pass into the corner for Stone. He tries to drive, gets in the middle of the lane. A little awkward shot. He was off balance, but Stone buries it from about 8 feet. And Roseburg back within 11, 32-21. 2 minutes to play. Smith with it out at the top. Nearly has his pass stolen by Scott. Now Cross going to try a 3. Had plenty of time to set up. And Owen Cross will put it through. Willamette has the answer for Roseburg after getting back within 11. Scott in the corner, going to drive in the middle. A floater, the finger roll. Storm Scott will get it to go. Scott to 7 points in the ball game. Roseburg back within 12, 35-23, minute 38 to play with the first half. Calling directions from the sideline, Chad Carpenter. They continue to call out directions here as they get it to Cross on the near side. He goes around his teammate Luke Smith, nearly had it stolen away. Picks up his dribble. Pass to the near side to Curtis. Head fake, driving in. Had his shot blocked by Scott. The rebound goes to Brown, and Willamette will get another look at it. First miss of the night for Jacob Curtis, by the way. 1 minute to go. Ball nearly stolen away by Scott. Woods gets it, drives through the middle of the lane. A 3 from Curtis. Near side, that might have been a long 2 as his foot was on the line. It misses, And Roseburg down with the rebound. 55 seconds. They trail by 12. Underneath to Avilés. Works his way to the basket. Tried to pass it back out, and it's stolen away by Willamette. Coming up with the pick was Tyler Woods. Working against some pressure in the backcourt. Woods gets it to Smith across the midcourt stripe. Luke Smith with it. The sophomore. Marked by Stone out at the top. 30 seconds to play here in the first half. He's going to work right side. Passes it to Cross, and he's going to get called for a player control foul. Luke Smith, harassed by Jonathan Stone, tried to drive to the corner, and he had too many defenders in the area. Ran right in to Storm Scott, who draws the foul, and it'll be the first against Luke Smith. Taking a seat will be Tyler Woods. Back into the game is Alex Puckett. 20 seconds to play. Roseburg looking to try and get a basket before the first half comes to an end. Lob pass to Jet, almost goes out of bounds. He saves it in, tight roping the sideline. Storm to the free throw line. Turnaround jumper is off the mark. Fight for the rebound. It's on the floor. Kick ball. And it should be a Roseburg basketball. On the floor, Owen Cross. He was on top of it. He slides over the basketball, then tried to kick it. And the official right there on top of it. Roseburg will get it back. Inbound from the baseline. Coach Carpenter from the sideline trying to yell that there should have been a foul against Roseburg. Lob out to the top to Scott, and a foul going to be called. Storm in the air tried to pass it to Seeley in the corner, but he got undercut. And Alex Puckett went down hard with Scott on top of him, but Puckett seems to be okay. He will be called for the foul. That's a 15 foul against Willamette. Tyler Woods is going to check back in. I think comes in for Puckett. Yeah, he'll take a seat. Julie Deaver will come over to check with him, make sure he's okay. Roseburg will inbound in front of the Willamette bench. Jet Black will have the basketball. Gets it into Scott. 3 seconds to go. Stone into the corner. Seeley, a three at the buzzer. Oh, just short. And Roseburg will trail by 12 at halftime, their largest deficit at the break all season. 35-23 is our score. Willamette in front of the Roseburg Indians. The perfect season on the line. We'll have a second half to decide it when we come back. It's time for the More Well Drilling halftime show. Stay with us. We'll recap the first half after this 2-minute break on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
What's coming up for Roseburg basketball? Watch Roseburg basketball games at 541radio.com.
It's halftime here from Roseburg High School as the Willamette Wolverines lead Roseburg 35-23. Joey Keyran here with you for the More Well Drilling halftime show. Keeping Douglas County green since 1947. Give them a call at 541-459-4039. That's More Well Drilling. And here at halftime, biggest deficit of the season for the Roseburg boys at the break. They led by 4 in that first quarter, but a string of three-point shots from Willamette really got them off to a hot start. In fact, a big quarter for Jacob Curtis in the first. He puts up 13 points, helping lead Willamette to a 23-16 lead in the first quarter. They extended to as many as 12 points in the second quarter, and that's where we sit right now as our score 35-23 here at the break. Roseburg 16 points in the first, 7 points in the second quarter. That is some of their lowest offensive output of the season there in that first half. Roseburg came in averaging 68.4 points per game, right now on average, or right now on target to have their lowest scoring night of the season. We'll see what the second half has in store for us, though, as there's still plenty of time to be able to work our way back in this one as Roseburg trails here at halftime. Roseburg basketball tonight brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. Also brought to you by Flyaway Travel. Contact their travel experts for your travel plans. Now located at 1445 West Harvard Avenue in Roseburg, or give them a call at 672-5701. Well, here at the halftime show, we'll take a look at some of the individual statistics. We'll have that for you when we come back. It's the More Well Drilling halftime show on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
What's coming up for Roseburg basketball.
Watch Roseburg basketball games at 541radio.com.
Halftime here. We continue on with the More Well Drilling halftime show. Time to take a look at some of your individual statistics from tonight's game. First for the visiting Wolverines. Leading the way with 15 points, Jacob Curtis, 3 for 3 from behind the arc. Didn't miss a shot until the second quarter. 10 points for Owen Cross. He is 2 of 5 from behind the arc tonight. 8 points for Luke Smith, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. And also 2 points in the game for Alex Puckett. Also looking at some of the rebounding numbers here. 4 rebounds for Joe Brown, 4 for Jacob Curtis, 3 for Luke Smith, 2 for Alex Puckett for Willamette. On the other side for the Roseburg boys, leading the way with 9 points is Storm Scott, 5 points for Jet Black, 4 points for Colin Warmouth, who had foul trouble and sat out the entire second quarter. 3 points for Caden Seeley, 2 for Jonathan Stone, and that is your scoring in this one for Roseburg. Leading the way, Storm Scott with 4 rebounds, 2 for Jet Black, 1 rebound for Colin Warmouth, 2 for D'Angelo Adams, and Xavier Avilés had a rebound in there as well. Turnover battle looks like 6 for Roseburg so far, 3 for Willamette in that first half. 35-23 is our score here at the break. Let's see, we got a quick check of our scoreboard update here. We're taking a look at some of the girls' games from earlier that have gone final. Myrtle Point defeats Riddle 71-29. Oakland defeats Days Creek 55-31. At the end of the third quarter, Coquille was defeating Glide 54-17. A final here, South Umpqua's JV team falls 46-33 against Lowell. And final from the NBA, Portland Trailblazers come back to win. No, not final, still in progress. 111, switch them, and it is final. Okay, Houston pulls off the win. 111-103 against the Portland Trailblazers. So Houston snaps a losing streak. The Blazers fall short of getting to a 3-game winning streak. Well, we've got the second half coming up here for us in just a moment. Stay tuned for the postgame show where we'll name our Abby's Legendary Pizza Legendary Player of the Game. That'll do it for the More Well Drilling halftime show. Second half coming up for you after this 60-second break here on 1490 The Score.
Here's what's coming up for Roseburg basketball.
Watch Roseburg basketball games at 541radio.com.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Start of the third quarter, Roseburg trails 35-23. Joey Keyran here with you. The Indians start with the basketball. Starters on the floor for Roseburg to start the second half. Jet Black's going to try a 3 from pretty much straight away. It rattles around, pops out, and then falls back through. Second 3 of the night for Jet Black. And Roseburg will start off with a deep shot, get them back to within 9. 35-26 our score. Willamette now moving left to right on your radio dial. Luke Smith with it out at the top. Owen Cross will come to get it. You've got Alex Puckett, Joe Brown, and Jacob Curtis out on the floor. The original starting 5 for the Wolverines as they get the second half started as well. Led big, but Roseburg's got it back under double digits. Near side corner, Luke Smith with it. Driving baseline, goes with a wraparound shot attempt. It got stripped out of his hands, and then a foul on the outlet. It goes against Joe Brown against Jonathan Stone. Stone was bringing the ball at the floor and got caught reaching in. Joe Brown will pick up his second. Roseburg with Warmouth, Black, Storm Scott, and a blocking foul against Willamette. This one goes against Alex Puckett, and I believe that'll be his second. And 2 fouls early on against Willamette here in the second half. So you've got Warmouth, Scott, Seeley, Black, and Stone out on the floor for Roseburg, the original starting 5. Warmouth sat out almost the entire second quarter. And 3 fouls against him. Stone tried to lob it underneath the Storm Scott, and it goes out of bounds, just too high on the lob. And Roseburg will retreat back on the other side after the turnover. 35-26, 1 minute ticked away here in this third quarter. Willamette trying to give Roseburg its first loss of the season. Joe Brown with it out on the far side. Luke Smith with it to the near side to Cross. This Wolverines team can shoot it from behind the arc. Roseburg looking to protect that perimeter. Dribbling to the near side. Willamette has really slowed down the pace here. To the far side of the floor. Cross had the ball almost stolen by Stone, but then he tripped over Stone's feet, and Roseburg does come away with it. Then on the other side, Jet Black gets mugged underneath the basket and has it stripped out of his hands. Up the floor, Roseburg. Curtis trying to drive in, looks for Puckett underneath. He was wide open, and he tips it back to Smith. The three is long. Seeley comes down with the rebound, had a guy all over him, and Roseburg will come up with the ball up the floor, tipped out of bounds by Willamette. Stays with Roseburg. Roseburg will have it underneath their own basket. Pass out to the top to Stone, into the corner to Seeley. Trying to work it underneath. Roseburg's had a really hard time getting it underneath to their big men here against this zone from Willamette. Marking up on on Warmouth is Joe Brown. To the near side to Black. Get it into the middle to Stone, and Stone just over the top of the defense. He feeds it to Storm Scott for an easy 2, and Roseburg comes out with 5 points to start this third quarter. Back within 7, 35-28. Smith with it, dribbles back out to the top, gets free, but does not pull up from downtown. Out to the near side. Cross with it, across the floor to Brown. Brown working against Jet, going to drive to the rim, passes it out, but a foul called. And they call the foul against Jet. A little hand checking going on as Joe Brown was driving against Roseburg. A very quick team, and that was one of the things that Coach Pardon pointed out in the pregame interview, is that this team is quick. Roseburg's going to have to be very quick defensively. A scoop shot around the defender by Luke Smith will fall, using the glass. Back out to a 9-point lead. A 3 from Jet looks long. It is. Rebound comes down to Puckett. First miss from behind the arc for Jet. Roseburg will get back defensively, cross out at the top. Looked like he wanted to try and spot up for a quick 3. Gets it to Smith on the near side, who pulls the defender out, threatening that deep 3. Joe Brown with it now far side. Back to Smith. He pulls it back out and will reset the offense. Counting down near the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. Brown with it on the far side. Jet providing the defense around a screen. Jet fights through it. Pass goes to the free throw line. Poked away by Seeley. Fight for it on the floor. And Roseburg comes up with it. Up the floor. Seeley will get it. Has no numbers. He had to pull it back out. He goes out to Scott. And a travel call. Storm put up a 3, but he never put the ball down and gets called for a jump stop. Some extra steps there, and Roseburg gives it right back to Willamette after some nice defense. Willamette will bring it up the floor. Dribbling to the right side in the corner. Smith, a pump fake. Seeley doesn't bite. Now he pulls back for a 3. And it's nothing but net for Luke Smith, his third 3 of the night. And back in front, Willamette now up by double digits again by 12, 40-28. Warmouth, quiet night for him. Gets it to Stone. Back out to the top to Jet. Over to the far side to Warmouth. Back to Stone on the baseline. Back out to Warmouth. Warmouth driving in. Picks up his dribble. Forces it in the middle. Ball's loose. Seeley will get it. And back out to the top. Roseburg will reset. Skip into the corner. Dangerous pass from Stone. He gets it to Black, though. Back out to the top. Warmouth goes left around a screen. Thought about pulling up for the 3. Doesn't. Jet has it in the corner. 3:42 to play as Jet drives in. Back out to Seeley. Seeley, 1 steps in. Back out to Jet, and it's out of bounds. Pass off the fingertips for Jet. And a timeout by Roseburg. The offense just stalled there. Roseburg couldn't get any sort of momentum and pressure. Roseburg will take the timeout. We'll do it as well. Back after this 60-second break on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Third quarter Roseburg basketball brought to you by Bimart. Score big at Bimart where you can get ready for your season for less. 40-28, Roseburg needing a big second half here. They started out strong, but stalled a bit offensively on their last possession. They trail by 12. Willamette with the basketball out of the Roseburg timeout. To the near side, Owen Cross with it. D'Angelo Adams comes up to the scorer's table, ready to check in for Roseburg at the next dead ball. Brown gets it at the center circle for Willamette. Driving around the defender, lost his footing. No foul called. Willamette wanted it. They don't get it. Storm had it stripped away from him, trying to pass it to a teammate. And Roseburg on the transition couldn't get the bucket they wanted. Pass into the middle of the zone for Stone. Passes it out to Warmith. Driving, baseline, gets bumped. No bucket, but he does get the foul. And Colin Warmith will head back to the free throw line. He's the only player to shoot free throws for Roseburg so far. That'll be third foul against Alex Puckett. Third team foul against Willamette. 2:52 to go here in the third quarter. First free throw coming up for Warmith. Short, and it rattles off. Roseburg basketball is brought to you by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? Caden Seeley comes out of the game. D'Angelo Adams in for him. And Alex Puckett checks out. And Tyler Woods will come back in for the Wolverines. Second free throw is good for Warmith. 1 of 2 on that trip. 40-29, back to an 11-point game. It was 12 points, the margin at halftime. Roseburg had it down to 7. But Willamette has fought their way back to stretch it back out. Joe Brown with it out at the top, working against Jet Black. In the middle, and a nifty pass by Jacob Curtis. He drew some defensive coverage, and he found the backdoor cutter, Tyler Woods, for 2. 42-29, out to a 13-point lead, largest of the game. A 3 in the corner by Stone, off the mark, and Curtis down with the rebound. Up the floor quickly, Woods gets it on the baseline. A pass underneath the defense, and the blocks. Storm Scott, nice defense against Curtis, who comes up short on a bunny. To the right side, Warmith going to try a long 3. It rattles out. Scott comes down with the rebound, wants to go right back up with it, but his pass is stolen away by Smith. Up the floor, Willamette with it, open underneath, and it's an easy bucket for Woods again. Just getting behind the defense, 44-29, 15-point lead for Willamette. Warmith picks up his dribble between the circles. Quick pass to the free throw line for Scott. Out to Jet, a 3. Good. Jet Black will stop the bleeding. The 3 much needed for Roseburg there. 44-32. Back to a 12-point game. 1:23 to go, third quarter. D'Angelo marking Smith out at the top. To the left side for Brown, working against Jet. Driving in, kicks into the corner. Woods, a 3. It's off the mark. Brown comes down with the rebound. And Willamette will get another look at it as we count down to 60 seconds in the third quarter. Driving in the middle of the lane, no whistle either way, and the rebound stolen away by Willamette. It was Cross who missed the shot. He barreled his way through the defense. I figured there had to be a whistle either one way or the other on that play. There was not. And Adams with it. Roseburg a shot at getting a bucket here before the third quarter comes to an end. Scott, his baseline jumper, rattles around, doesn't fall. Rebound tipped around. Willamette fighting for it. And Brown comes up with it, trapped in the backcourt, and up the floor. Cross will get it. He'll pick it up, spin move in the lane, and he'll roll it over the front of the iron. That was quite the sequence. 46-32. Roseburg did everything they could to try and get that basketball away. Between the leg dribble for Scott, passes it back out to Stone. He drives in, has his shot tied up, going up. He wants a foul call, jump ball called, and it goes to Willamette. Jonathan Stone checks out of the game. Carson Ellis will come in. Roseburg down by 14. 19 seconds to go in the third quarter. If the score holds, Willamette will extend their lead in the third quarter. Hand off to Woods. Picks it up at the top. Cross, a 3 from the right wing. It's short. Rebound underneath by Curtis. Ball tipped around. Up with it before the buzzer. Luke Smith will get one last bucket for Willamette, and Roseburg trails by 16 as we go to the fourth quarter. Another big one for the Wolverines. And they are 8 minutes away from giving Roseburg its first loss of the season. Back after this 60-second break on 1490 The Score.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage. Stay tuned for more Roseburg basketball at 541radio.com.
Been a tough night for Roseburg getting anything offensively going. Colin Warmoth has been in foul trouble the entire game since the first quarter. Getting more minutes here in the second quarter, but has not found a rhythm. He'll start on the floor as Roseburg has the basketball. And a three in the key called against Carson Ellis on the first possession for Roseburg. They'll turn it back over to Willamette. They needed that first possession to try and establish some sort of momentum here in the fourth quarter. Roseburg trails 48-32 as we start the final period. Roseburg basketball brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. Luke Smith drives around D'Angelo Adams, gets to the rim, can't finish but gets his own rebound. Trapped underneath, and Warmoth will steal it away. And Roseburg will have a chance. Gets the stop. Crossover by Warmoth, gets in the lane. He'll finish with the left hand. And Colin Warmoth not ready to be done with this basketball game just yet. 48-34. Driving left side. And they'll call a blocking foul against Jet Black. He'll pick up his third. Tried to get in front of Owen Cross. And gets knocked to the floor, but called for the foul. Timeout down on the floor by Willamette as we start out this fourth period. 48-34 your score. We'll take a quick 30-second break and come back after this on 1490 The Score.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Fourth quarter action for you here on 1490 The Score, brought to you by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone's welcome to shop. Willamette with the basketball out of the timeout, inbounding on their own baseline. Into the corner to Luke Smith, trying to feed it down to Jacob Curtis. Ball poked away by Xavier Avilés, and D'Angelo Adams will bring it up. Roseburg will have it. Warmoth with it out on the left side, picks up his dribble at the left wing. They try to get it underneath to Avilés. It's not there. A three from the right side from Jet. No good. Too strong. The rebound tipped by Adams. Jet picks it up, and Roseburg will get another look. Down to Ellis on the right block. His turnaround jumper short. Rebound. Avilés fighting for it, but he can't strip it away, and Willamette will finally get the stop. To the near side, Cross with it. Ellis will come out. He got overcommitted, bumps Owen Cross, commits the foul. Third team foul against Roseburg. Carson Ellis picking up his first. 6:33 to go in the ball game. Roseburg trailing by 14. Inbound into Curtis, working against Avilés, driving baseline. Had it stripped out of his hands. Stays with Willamette. He went up strong with it, but Avilés got his hand on it, knocking the basketball across the baseline. Tyler Woods will inbound it for Willamette. Into the corner, catch, shoot, 3-4 cross. It's short, rebound comes back out to him. He'll pick it up in the middle of the lane, pass it back out, Curtis. Going to drive baseline, got the defender in the air, and he shoots around him. Curtis gets Willamette to 50 points, back out to a 16-point lead, 50-34, and a foul out at the top. Colin Warmoth driving against Tyler Woods, and I think it's Woods that picks up the foul. That'll be his second. Not yet into the bonus for either side. Warmouth will have it on the inbound. Crossover goes right. Gets a floater right through. Warmouth had a tough one last year against Willamette. The last game they played against the Wolverines, he only had 10 points. He's had a tough night tonight here as well. He's up to 9. 5:50 to play in the fourth quarter. Into the corner, Curtis driving in, steps through the defenders. No basket. The foul on the floor called against Roseburg. The big man, Jacob Curtis, looked very nimble for a big man. As Storm Scott will come back into the game for Carson Ellis. That foul was against Xavier Avilés. Curtis, a cross-court pass here to Cross on the near side. Willamette is slowing down the pace, looking to hold, but when they get going, they can move quick. Cross with it on the near side, marked by Scott. Back out to the top to Smith. Pitch and catch between the two. Smith tries to drive against Adams. He tried to make the baseline pass. It was tipped, and it is Roseburg basketball. Yes, Roseburg basketball. Last touch by Willamette. And the Willamette bench explodes on this one. They wanted a tip ball, didn't get the call. 5:16 to go. Roseburg's got to get something going if they want to cut down this 14-point deficit. Jet with it, tries to pass it underneath, ball stolen away. Curtis with it, up the floor. He'll pull it back and he'll slow it up. Cross on the far side will get the basketball. Marked by Jet, now he gives it away to Scott. Storm will come out to check, and Willamette again slows it down. Luke Smith with it on the near side, working against Adams. Crossover by Brown driving in. Lost a handle on the basketball, got it back. Caught his own basketball. Pass into Smith, and his floater no good. Luke Smith now a steal in the backcourt and a foul. Tyler Woods will flush the basket through and head to the free throw line. 52-36 the score, and to the line trying to stretch it to its largest lead of the game will be Tyler Woods, the sophomore. Young team here for Willamette, but they are handling things pretty well on the road tonight here at Roseburg. Free throw does not fall for Woods. Scott will get the rebound. So it stays at the 16-point lead, matching the largest of the game. Scott out of the left side of the arc, driving in, lost a handle on the basketball, and it goes out of bounds. Just lost the handle, couldn't get the scoop shot to go. 4:29 to play, and it's not looking good for the Roseburg boys. Season low point total for them is 63. They're at 36 right now. Into the lane, cross, shot no good, tip up on the rebound. Stays with Willamette. Owen Cross was right next to the basket, but had about 3 jerseys, white jerseys all around him. It was a congested mess. Pass goes into the corner for Cross. Back underneath, feeds it to Curtis, back out to Cross. Steps inside the line, back out. Luke Smith, a catch and shoot 3 off the mark. Scott with the rebound. Roseburg up the floor. Willamette is cooled, but Roseburg has just not been able to get anything going offensively. Foul before a shot by Warmouth. He wanted the continuation, doesn't get it. The foul goes against Owen Cross. And that'll put Willamette at 5 team fouls, it looks like. Substitution in will be Alex Puckett. Comes in for Tyler Woods, who will get a round of applause by the visiting fans. Roseburg inbounds into the corner to Avilés. Picks up his dribble, back out to the top. It goes through the hands of Storm Scott. And Roseburg just pressing tonight. I think tonight with their biggest test against this Willamette team, Willamette came out just throwing haymakers. And Roseburg has not been able to get up off the mats here in this second half. 52-36 your score. 3:45 to go. Owen Cross between the leg dribble behind his back. He got free but passed it away. Luke Smith with it, back to Cross. Back out to the top. Cutters through the lane, just not getting open enough. And Willamette very comfortable to just keep resetting their offense and Wearing time off the clock, 3:23 to go. Adams out at the top working against Smith. Smith bounce pass to the baseline cutter. Cross underneath. His shot too strong. Tip around on the rebound, and Scott will pull it away. Adams will run the point, bringing it up the floor. Passes left side to Collin. Roseburg down by 16. They're going to need a run here. Warmouth almost tripping over his own feet. Pass it away to Jett. He's got an open look at a three. It's long, and a rebound down to Willamette. Wolverines will slowly bring it across the timeline. Under 3 minutes to play in the ball game. Pass to the far side of the floor. Back and forth between Cross and Brown right now. And kicked out of bounds by Owen Cross. Storm reached in. I don't know if he even got a hand on it, but Cross couldn't keep the handle on the basketball and then kicked it off his own foot out of bounds, and Roseburg will get the takeaway. Still time, but they got to hurry. And doing so, Warmouth, a three from way downtown. He puts it through, his first of the night, and it'll get Roseburg back within 13. Still some work to do, but that three gives them a little bit of hope. Timeout down on the floor by Willamette. We'll take a 60 and be back after this on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage. Stay tuned for more Roseburg basketball at 541radio.com.
Fourth quarter action, 52-39 our score, 2:30 to play in the ball game. Roseburg putting some full court pressure on. D'Angelo Adams bumping Luke Smith in the backcourt. He's got to get up the floor. He'll find Owen Cross open on the other side of the half-court line. Cross will bring it back out to the top, marked by Scott. Roseburg trying to up the defensive intensity here, down by 13. Smith back out to Brown. Brown driving against Jett, goes airborne, passes it to the baseline to Puckett. He dribbles it back out. Roseburg applying the pressure. No shot clock in high school basketball in Oregon, but Roseburg's defense will come through. Curtis turns it over, up the floor. Warmouth from about 8 feet behind the arc. His shot just a little short. Not sure that's what Coach Parton wants to see, is launching three-pointers like that, but Roseburg's going to need a lot of shots to drop if they want to come back. 1:30 to play, may not be enough time. Brown with it out on the far side. Willamette's just going to hold. They're just going to let the clock tick off. No need to force the issue. Jett comes to Mark Brown. Pump fake on the pass and a foul as he was going up. And it'll be free throws for Willamette. They call the foul against Jet Black. That will be his fourth. 16 foul against Roseburg. Not into the bonus yet.
Joe Brown at the line for Willamette.
But shooting free throws as he was in the act of shooting. Joe Brown will head to the line, and his first one hits off. Roseburg basketball tonight brought to you by Good Vibration Solutions for home theater and automotive audio. You can feel it at Good Vibes. Second free throw for Brown is good. (53-39). Roseburg down by 14. Ball tipped out of bounds by Willamette. Roseburg will keep it. Warmouth will get it out at the top. 1:15 to go. Goes around the screen. Had the ball knocked out of his hands. Couldn't get the shot to drop, but Collin will head to the free throw line. Roseburg turning to Collin Warmouth here in the fourth quarter to try and see if he can bring him back. But it looks like it's going to be a little too late for this Roseburg squad. Warmouth hits the first of two free throws. He has gotten to double figures, but he's well below his average at 26 points per game. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces. Fisher's Hearth and Home. Both free throws fall through for Warmouth. Down to a 12-point game again. That's 4 3-pointers in a minute 14 without giving up anything for the other team. That's a tall order. Full court pressure here for Roseburg. Got to get it in. Smith finally will try. Oh, Jet almost had a steal, and Willamette will work its way up the floor. Cross marked by Warmouth. Warmouth out to the top, working against Smith. Smith driving in. Lay-in from the right side. Luke Smith, his 17th point of the night, makes it back a 14-point game. Warmouth bumped as he lays it in. No, it falls off the rim. Warmouth wanted a foul. No whistle on the contact. And down to 45 seconds to go. This one's about to wrap up for Willamette. They're going to hand Roseburg its first loss of the season. Storm Scott reaching in, going to get called for the foul. A learning experience tonight for this Roseburg team. Had a feeling this was going to be one of their top competition coming in tonight that they had seen all season. And Willamette was just hot to start. Had a bunch of threes in the first half to build a lead, and they've been able to sustain ever since. 12-point lead at halftime, 14 right now, so it's been a pretty even second half as the free throw missed by Cross. Roseburg came up with the rebound. Adams will get it up to Seeley. 32 seconds to play. Warmouth head fake, steps in for a closer three, spins around and comes out. That one couldn't have gotten much closer, and Willamette will have it. Roseburg not applying much pressure here with 20 seconds to go. Adams now marking Smith as he comes across the midcourt stripe. Pushing off, Smith will get free and able to get it to Cross. 8 seconds to go, and Willamette just trying to wear off the clock here to finish off the fourth quarter. Good effort tonight for the Willamette Wolverines as they pull off the win, 55-41. Tough-fought battle tonight for the Roseburg boys, but they just did not have it. They fall by 14, losing tonight against the Willamette Wolverines. Final score, 55-41. We'll recap the game for you coming up in the Roseburg Disposal post-game show. Don't go anywhere, folks. The Wolverines hand the Indians their first loss of the season. We'll talk all about it when we come back after this 2-minute break on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
What's coming up for Roseburg basketball.
Watch Roseburg basketball games at 541radio.com.
Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome in to the Roseburg Disposal post-game show. Let them make the run to the dump for you. That's Roseburg Disposal. Give them a call at 673-7122. Roseburg boys fall tonight 55-41, your final score. The Willamette Wolverines come in, and they have a hot shooting night to start and hold off Roseburg in the second half as they give the Indians their first loss of the year. Roseburg will fall to 5-1. Willamette improves to 3-1 on the year. Coming up in the post-game show, we'll recap tonight's action for you. Plus, we'll name our Abby's Legendary Pizza Legendary Player of the Game. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Flyaway Travel. Contact their travel experts for your travel plans. Now located at 1445 West Harvard Avenue in Roseburg, or call 672-5701. Well, tough one here tonight for the Roseburg Indians. They fall behind by 12 in the first half, trailed by as many as 16, finish out with a 14-point loss. Just not their night here tonight. Colin Warmuth gets into foul trouble in the first quarter with 3 fouls against him, and Roseburg unable to really overcome the loss of him. Sat the entire second quarter, and then Roseburg just didn't have the offense to overcome the Willamette Wolverines here this evening. 3 players in double figures for Willamette. For Roseburg, 3 players in double figures, but not a lot out other than that for Roseburg here tonight. Tough one for Roseburg, but a learning moment for sure early on in the season. They'll try to bounce back and see if they can learn from this. This is the type of caliber of competition they're going to be facing when it comes to Southwest Conference play. So they're going to need to make sure that they learn from this and try and find ways to combat this kind of competition. Final score again, 55-41. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Roseburg Basketball on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score. Not tonight. The Roseburg boys were hoping for 55-41, the final score. We'll get you individual scoring and some other team statistics when we come back after this break. This is the Roseburg Disposal postgame show on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Here's what's coming up for Roseburg basketball. Watch Roseburg basketball games at 541radio.com.
Continuing on with the Roseburg Disposal post-game show. Let them make the run to the dump for you. That's Roseburg Disposal. Tonight's game also been brought to you by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? Well, tonight the Wolverines had the better night than the Roseburg Indians. 55-41 your final score. Let's take a look at scorers tonight for the visiting Wolverines. Leading the way with 17 points, Luke Smith and Jacob Curtis, both with 17 in tonight's ball game. 12 points tonight for Owen Cross. You had 6 points for Tyler Woods, 2 points for Alex Puckett, and 1 point for Joe Brown tonight. The Wolverines went 8 of 19 from behind the arc tonight, as they were pretty hot. They made 7 of those in the first half when they started 7 for 15. Only 11 turnovers tonight in the ball game for Willamette. Leading rebounders, Jacob Curtis with 7, Luke Smith with 7 as well, 6 for Joe Brown, and for Alex Puckett, he had 4. For the Roseburg boys, leading the way, 14 points for Colin Warmoth. He scores 10 of those in the second half. A season low for him, coming in averaging 26 points per game, but tough one tonight. He spent most of the time in the first half on the bench because of foul trouble. 11 points for Storm Scott tonight, and Jet Black with a career-high 11 points this evening. His previous high had been 9. He gets to 11 here tonight, hitting 3 3-pointers. Nice night for Jet Black. 3 points for Caden Seeley, 2 for Jonathan Stone, and that rounds out your scoring for the Roseburg boys. Leading rebounder tonight, 10 rebounds for Storm Scott, 4 for Jet Black. D'Angelo Adams had 3, and Roseburg finished with 16 turnovers tonight in this ball game. That is better than they had been doing, but it was not great. They did not play their best night here tonight. Finished 6 of 19 from behind the arc. Tough night shooting for the Roseburg boys. We'll come back and wrap things up in the Roseburg Disposal post-game show. When we come back, we'll name our Abby's Legendary Pizza Legendary Player of the Game for the Roseburg boys, take a look at a few scores, and get you ready for the next matchup coming up for the Roseburg Indians. Back after this final 2-minute break on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Stay tuned for more Roseburg basketball at 541radio.com.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Finishing things out here from Roseburg High School. The Indians fall for the first time this season, 55-41, your final score tonight, as Roseburg loses to the Willamette Wolverines, who improved to 3-1 on the year. Well, as we wrap things up here, it's time now in the postgame show to take a look at our Abby's Legendary Pizza Legendary Player of the Game. Tonight we give the award to Jet Black, the junior guard. Finishes with a career-high 11 points in this matchup, when 3 of 6 from behind the arc. 11 points, second leading scorer on the team for Jet. Had a nice night when Colin Warmoth had a tough night spending time on the floor. Just because of foul trouble, I think, really threw things off for Warmouth. The Roseburg Indians had to look to somebody else to help lead some of that scoring. Storm Scott was getting a lot of attention after that, and Jet Black able to bury a couple of threes, get a couple of points in there. A nice night for him, stepping up into more of a leadership role with that scoring opportunity for him. He gets 11 and sets a new career high. Congratulations, Jet Black, our legendary player of the game, presented by Abby's Pizza. Time now to look at a few scores from around the region tonight. Get you a couple of updates to pass along. Boys basketball, Umpqua Valley Christian leading 46-30 at halftime. And let's see here. From girls basketball tonight, 71-29 final. Riddle loses to Myrtle Point tonight. Oakland defeats Days Creek 55-31 in girls basketball. Camas Valley falls in a tight one against Rogue River, 26-23. And the Glide girls fall against Coquille, 65-22. Douglas girls win against Illinois Valley tonight, 33-27. The South Umpqua JV girls fall to Lowell, 46-33. And in a final up at Sutherland High School, 58-40, the Sutherland girls win against Siuslaw. In the NBA tonight, the Portland Trailblazers fell 111-103 against the Houston Rockets. That's going to do it for us here tonight from Roseburg High School, folks. We hope you are able to join us back here on Friday night when the Roseburg Indians welcome in the Bend Lava Bears. That'll be our next broadcast of Roseburg basketball for you here on the radio and online at 541radio.com. That one a 6:45 tip-off, and a pregame coverage will start at 6:30, so make sure you tune in for that final home game of the week before Roseburg heads on the road to Centennial next week, and then they get a little bit of a break before the Abbeys Classic just after Christmas. So that is what is coming up for the Roseburg boys. These Willamette Wolverines, they will be back at home taking on the Ashland Grizzlies coming up on Friday this week. So that is what is coming up. We'll wrap things up here. Want to say thanks to the Willamette Wolverines helping us get ready for tonight's broadcast. Thanks to head coach Mike Pardon, athletic director Russ Bullen, and the entire Roseburg boys basketball program for allowing us to bring you another season of Roseburg basketball here on 1490 The Score. Want to say thanks to Cruz Ibanez back in the studio for his radio production here tonight. Thanks to Angela Keyran for running the camera here on site this evening for us. Big thanks to Josh Nelson for support throughout the season, helping out with stats and other odds and ends throughout the season here with us on site as well. And as always, folks, I'd like to say thanks to you for tuning in for tonight's broadcast, because, of course, without you, I'm just a guy sitting here talking to myself. I'm Joey Keyran, folks. We will talk to you guys on Friday night when the Roseburg Indians host the Bend Lava Bears. Tip-off coming up at 6:45. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30. You can catch it streaming live online at 541radio.com or follow the basketball game on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score. All right, Cruz, thank you so much for the help tonight.